Boom, we should be live. Now, I tested the audio and video before, so everything should be working. Welcome, everybody. Andy Johns, how you doing? We got Marcel. How you going, mate? Fat Philosopher. Impromptu live stream, here we come. Yeah, absolutely. For some reason, I thought I had that wording wrong on that little lens clip thing, so I was like, is that the right word? Yeah, it is. It's been a long day. Been out in the sun the last couple of days. It's been nice. All right, we got Arcos 55. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to go for about an hour tonight. I just thought I'd quickly jump on and do a quick live stream. And yeah, there's no real updates on the channel other than I've got a really cool Australian-made guitar coming up in a review next, I'm pretty sure. Or there might be one video before that, but it's not far away. So yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff coming up that I haven't showcased ever before, which is pretty good. All right, we've got Tony Maroney. Welcome, mate. Slush Puppy. Awesome stuff. So this is literally Q&A, hangout, whatever goes. I think the first thing we got to do, though, have a little caffeine. It's 11 p.m. here. I went live right over about a minute after 11 o'clock. Cowhide Music from California. Is that a brand? Is that like a guitar strap brand or something like that? I had a couple of days of rain and I caught a cold. Far out. We've actually had really, like, it's been cold here in the night times and in the mornings, but then the sun comes out and it's beautiful. So, yeah, it's been pretty cool the last, I guess 2 or 3 days at least anyway. It's always surprising. Like, I don't really check the weather or anything and it's like, oh, man, what a day. Oh, firstly, to everybody, thank you for all the feedback on the last Keys to the Guitar Shop video. The part where Rick's playing all the guitar will be on the next one. I'll be on the bass. So stay tuned for that. It's my favorite series right now. I love just playing guitar. I mean, look, a lot of editing and that goes into it, but just being able to do that is a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. What's my favorite blues song to play live? Probably As the Years Go Passing by Albert King. I've always loved that song. I think I used to love playing Tore Down back in the day and Stormy Monday and a lot of the cliche ones, but since then, I would say As the Years Go Passing By is probably my favorite one, and it kind of works for my vocal as well. Oh, Hobby Channel. Okay, cool. We've got Dwayne from California. Welcome, mate. Rokansky, is that how you say that? Welcome, Maximus. And we got number one from Germany. Awesome. So I've been adding subtitles to a few of the videos lately, which a lot of people, it's funny because I have to do that manually, which kind of sucks. But it seems people are using them. So while people are using them, I'll keep adding them in. If you see anytime you see that CC thing normally there, that usually means I've added other languages to it after the fact. Sometimes it's a bit late, but I generally try to get that done at some point. All right. Let's see what we got here. Marcel says, hey Shane, you can tell Brian I took up his recommendation, but I got a twisted tele pick up in the neck position of my denim tele. Sounds great. Awesome stuff, man. Yeah, the twisted tele is, yeah, that's his. Oh, actually, Rick likes that too. I think everybody likes the twisted tele tone. I haven't actually had that in one of my teles before, but that's the go-to for a lot of guys. And I just wish it came with Brian's chops. He's a monster, absolute monster player. Joey, how you doing, mate? Oh, Joe, sorry, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. John says, New Jersey here, love your channel, and because of you, I now own a Marshall DSL 40 CR. Awesome, mate. I've been using mine live again recently, and it's so good. You know, like, it's not even here. It's actually near the front door, because it's just been unreal to go back to that. I played with it last Sunday without any pedals. It was like, plug in, done. It was very, very liberating. Yeah, so I hope you like the amp, man. And again, to get the best tone out of it, crank up those master volumes all the way. And then it'll open up the power section of the amp a bit more. and then sort of get the gain and volume to about 1 o'clock if you can. Then you'll be loving it. It's a great clean channel too, very underrated. You know, a lot of people think Marshall, they just think of dirty tones, but Marshall clean tones are pretty wild in my opinion as well. All right. We've got Petoskey Stone here. Welcome, mate. We've got Mike from Sebastian, Florida. How you doing? Zach Thong. Welcome, mate. Does my Tele with the Bardens have 500k pots? No, not at all. 250. You can put 500s on them, but the Bardens are so bright that you don't need them. I've tried it. I ended up putting the 250s back in there. So I use the Emerson Pro pots in my guitars anytime I have to replace stuff. Good Fender noiseless tones with 250. Yeah, so the Fender noiseless pickups are pretty different to the Joe Bardens. Like, yeah, the Joe Bardens are probably the closest thing you're going to get to vintage pickups that don't make any noise. Even though they look like hot rails, they're not. They're like 4K or 4.5K output or something. So they're pretty low. I'm just going to move this chat so I'm not breaking my neck here. Hang on one sec. Let's see if I can reposition this. Ah, here we go. This should be better. All right, I'm just going to make this a little bigger. Boom. There we go. Now I can see the chat. All right. Yeah, so in terms of the Joe Bardens, they're very different pickups to the Fender noiseless, which I've owned. Nearly all of them except for the Telecaster pickups. I've owned pretty much the vintage noiseless, the hot noiseless, and the Sumerian Cobalt Series 1. They've gotten better over the years, though. So if you can get like a new set of noiseless Fender pickups, should sound okay. Bucklister says, "Hi Shane, I have the Bugera 5-watt amp and it has a buzz. I thought you mentioned a new tube could fix it. Recommendations on a new tube." Depending on what kind of sound it is, yeah, generally that will be what it is. Unless you, of course, your guitar's making it buzz. But if it's buzzing without, yeah, it's troubleshooting amps kind of sucks. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but generally in an amp like that, that's what it'll be. If it's a Rattle, if you're talking about a physical buzz like a Rattle, then it can absolutely be the valve. So just put some JJs in there. They're good value to performance tube. I don't think it really makes much difference, but JJ is the way I go anytime I need to replace valves. Especially in that one. Yeah, you won't cost you anything to do it, and they're pretty reliable. Jennifer says, "Hi Shane, thanks for your Les Paul tribute review. No worries at all. I bought one in an iced tea burst and love it. Sky Music is one of my I think there must be local shops is probably what you were going to add to the end of that, I tip. But they are awesome stuff. Glad you're liking it. Very cool." Steve says, "Hi Shane, good day Cobber, waiting on the Tonemaster Deluxe Reverb Blonde. Very cool." Yeah, I was blown away by how great, like I've always liked Deluxe Reverbs. I've owned 2 of them, and I was really surprised how much I enjoyed the Tonemaster in the live mix on the last Keys to the Guitar Shop video. It was like effortless to play in the context of a mix. And I think I almost prefer the tone of that being that it breaks up a little bit, or emulated breakup. It worked well. What can I tell you? It was great to play, especially with that Squire. Hey, we've got Krenner here. Welcome, mate. But yeah, congrats on the Tonemaster Deluxe Reverb Blonde. That's awesome. John P. from Austin, Texas. I've been to Austin many years ago. Got a photo next to the Stevie statue and I went into, was it Austin Vintage Guitars, I think it's called. Went into the guitar shop. Also got to play in Austin, Texas as well, which was pretty cool. You know, I can't recall the names of the places, but I actually have some video from that trip. And yeah, Austin's awesome. I actually was planning on going back there last year. The trip didn't work out, unfortunately, but it'll happen again at one point in time, hopefully. Lewis says, "What's up from Tokyo? Hey man, how you doing? Love your keys to the guitar shop videos. Great music. Thanks, mate. All of that's winged, by the way, too. We like, all right, let's try this. We play like a bar of it and go, okay, done, let's go. And yeah, it's a lot of fun for me just to play and sort of not have to do, well, I still have to do a lot of like editing and all that kind of stuff, but it's different to just filming in here. It's so much more fun. So I'm really enjoying that series. It's something that I'm going to do as long as I can because it's a lot of fun. And I also don't have to clutter my room up with stuff here either. Hey, Claudio, how are you, man? Cheers, mate. Going to see Brian play on... Oh, the chat just moved. Hang on, let me scroll back up. Sunday Arvo at the Pirates Tavern. Okay, cool. I can't this Sunday, unfortunately, but that would be cool. Fishman Fluence. Yeah, I'm not overly... I don't know, man. I don't know about those pickups. I haven't tried them personally, but if any pickups you have to recharge aren't going in my guitar. I'd rather have the option just to replace a battery than have to recharge it, because eventually that'll, like mobile phones, it'll come to the end. But yeah, if they work for your particular sound, you like them, go for them. It's all about finding what works for you, so don't listen to what I like. Nick, welcome, mate. Any Marshall Bluesbreaker amps at Sky Music at the moment? I'd like to hear your opinion on them. I bought one last year and I love it. Bluesbreaker amps. I don't know if they've got any at the moment. We did a review on one like ages ago. Maybe it was on their channel or something. I can't remember. But let me check. I'll see what we can do. We're definitely going to be using orange amps next time for something different. I'm going to try some higher gain amps. I think that'll be a bit of fun. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm not too sure. I don't have access to their stock list other than their website. So I'll see what I can find next time we go in. But yeah, I think once you get those amps up pretty loud, they're supposed to be epic. I think they're really heavy though, right? From memory, like are they backbreakingly heavy? I can't remember. Hey, we've got Helmut here from Germany. Welcome, mate. Have I ever tried lace sensors? I have. I don't think they're that bad. A lot of people give them a bit of a bad rap, but they do sort of attenuate the top end, and they have a clacky kind of sound to them. But the trade-off is always usually worth it when it comes to not having as much buzz or any buzz. They've got a very different sort of sound to them than a traditional Strat. I'm not going to say a very different sound, but they're I don't know how to say it. They're hard to explain the difference in the tone to like either noiseless pickups or regular single coils. But they definitely don't have quite... They've got a different top end. That's probably a better way of saying it. It's still there, but it's not quite as traditional, I guess. I hate using terms like that. But yeah, you'd hear it side by side with single coils, you're going to hear a difference. But the difference is still, very usable. So yeah, pretty cool pickups overall. I had one just on loan, and I tried it in the neck pickup of my Strat, and I went, okay, this is kind of cool. But I never owned a full set of them ever. We got Timothy from Canada. Welcome, mate. I have the Mustang 2 and 3. Thank you for the patches on the internet site. No worries at all. So yeah, guitarpedaldemos.com is one of my old websites. It's been revamped recently, so you can go get all the presets and patches and software from there. Being that it's freeware, everyone just sent all the patches a while back, and I just put them in big zip folders and hosted them on that website. I haven't heard from Fender about it, so it should be all good. I'm not making anything from that either, so anyone can just download it without having to sign up for anything or anything. Brett Boston says, hey Shane, I nearly bought a 50s original Strat. The one at Sky Music had a ding in it. Oh, spewing, man. And when I got home to Adelaide, the 50s original Strat here, I didn't like it. And I bought a made in Japan 60s hybrid Strat. Okay, cool. Very cool. But you got to get the right one for you, right? So that's awesome. I love mine. Mine's right back here. I think between that and the new American Pro 2s, they're some of my favorites. I haven't had a good chance to play a lot of the recent Lefty Japanese strats because I haven't found them anywhere. So good stuff, and I'm assuming you're right-handed. If money was no object, would you buy hand-wired amps over modern PCB amps? Not really, no. I don't feel like the tonal difference is really worth it. I've had a chance to play a lot of locally made, handmade amps, and I'm like, they're good. I mean, they look nice, and they're probably going to last for a long time, but no, there's also been times where I've compared, like, PCB Fender amps against hand-wired clones that are twice the price, and they don't sound as good. So, no, I would put my money into something else. I'm not that much of a... I just want a good amp. I don't really care too much if it's handmade or not. I've owned handwired amplifiers before, and they're not really any better tone-wise. Some people will argue that, but at least with my experience with them, I've put that up against like 2-Rock amps. I've put that up against hand-wired Fender clones, and the Blues Deluxe just rips the crap out of them with a new speaker. So, yeah, no is my answer. I would rather put it into something else. I don't think hand-wired amps that doesn't excite me personally. But if you're into it, go for it. Yeah, no worries, Jennifer. I thought that's what you were going to say, something like that. So we are going to do more Keys to the Guitar Shop videos coming up. The second part of that last one will be up next Saturday night, my time. So be around this time a week from now or so. But we are going to film more coming up. We got Thanos is here. Look out. He says, "Hey Shane, greetings from Cyprus. What would you recommend to get a nice, clean, glassy, sweet Fender-esque tone under 1,000 euros? I'd probably get a Fender Princeton, or I'd go for, if you can, get a Hot Rod Deluxe. The Hot Rod Deluxe amps are plenty loud, but they're still a very classic Fender tone, in my opinion. I would go for that any day over. I think Blues Juniors are good, but either get a Princeton or get a Hot Rod Deluxe. That would be the two that really sing out to me as being that type of tone. Now, when I say I love the Blues Deluxe, I don't like the stock speakers that come in those amps a lot of the time, so I've swapped mine out. But generally speaking, I would say a Princeton would be something like that. Or under $1,500, you can't really buy a Fender Deluxe reverb for that price in Australia anymore. They're like $2,000 now, or maybe more. I'm not too sure, but they're the two that really come to mind. But hear them both, because the Hot Rod Deluxe is a more modern, big, full round, big sound. The Princeton has that real classic 65 Deluxe kind of sound going on. So Princetons and a Deluxe reverb sound kind of similar to each other in some ways. The cabinet size drastically affects the amount of volume and oomph in the room too, and the speaker size. You can buy some Princetons that have 12-inch speakers, but most of them have 10. But that said, the 10-inch speaker versions sound great too. Hey, Craig Clark, thank you, man. Far out. Shane, love your Keys to the Guitar Shop series at Sky. That beautiful Les Paul Standard 50s tobacco burst on top left is now mine. Went and purchased it Saturday last week from Sky Music. Great stuff, man. I wish I got commissions. No, I don't. They don't hook me up like that. So, yeah, that's fantastic, man. I'm glad you're digging it. That's super cool. Now, are you left-handed or right-handed? Because there's a couple of really nice Les Pauls on that wall that I was either going to say, hey, Rick, can you grab this? I'll tell you what, next time I'm going to spoil it a little bit. We're going to go through as many Epiphones as we can, and hopefully some more Gibsons as well if we can do that. So, yeah, so many nice guitars on that wall. So thanks, Craig. Thanks for the super chat, mate. I hope you enjoy the video. That's fantastic. I guess the super chat is commissioned. So thanks, mate. Thank you. That's awesome. yeah, I look forward to... Shoot me a photo, man, intheblues@outlook.com. I'll check it out, because, yeah, it's hard for me to recall exactly which one was that exact one, but I got a good feeling I know which one you're talking about. And thanks again. All right, let me scroll back up, because the chat just went... give Shane a like, everyone. Thanks, Fat. I appreciate that, mate. Peter says, your restring video made me laugh. You cater to right-handers by flipping the video. Well, it's funny, you know, like how many people, if you go through the comments, there's a lot of comments of people saying, oh, I wish this was the other way around, even though it's not that hard to work out. I guess when you're a beginner, it's far easier to see it the right way. So now I've got the lefty version, which was the original, and then I've got the right-handed version. Those videos, those little helpful videos like that, over time, are really useful for people. So yeah, there might be a few more of those kind of little videos popping up. But I wanted to do that for a while with better angles and clearer image quality and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks. I just got to see, is it Shiji? I'm not sure how to pronounce that Stratocaster. Amazing custom shop quality. Very cool, Timothy. I don't know that at all off the top of my head. So yeah, nice stuff, man. Cool. Gear Junkie says, hey Shane, Squire 70s thin line hollow body Tele for intonation. Should I upgrade 6 saddles or stick with 3? You know, there's something to be said about a 3 saddle job. Unless the intonation is unusable, I've got 2 Telecasters with 3 brass saddles, and they're great. So they might be microtonally out or something here or there, but who cares, right? It's rock and roll. So 6 may change the sustain. Some people will argue it'll change the tone a little bit in terms of the top end. It's funny because we've done tests where we've taken off bridges on Telecasters and put different brands on, and it's made the guitar darker sounding. So unless it's right out and you can't fix it, or a tech can't set it up for you properly, then maybe give the 6 a go. But I don't like the 6 saddles on my guitar. So when it comes to Teles, even the Vola has a 3 saddle thing going on. So yeah, that's just how I like to leave them as they are, unless there's something drastically wrong. That's the only time I'll mod something, or if I'm really unhappy with like the tuners or whatever. I don't do stuff, you know, just because. Yeah. So if something's seriously wrong, then put some money into it. If nothing's wrong with it, then don't worry about it. Hey, Brett, thank you, man. Thanks for your channel and your honesty. Thanks, man. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Far out. If you got a question, just add in the blues me as well. Craig says he's a righty. Okay, cool. Dr. Rick left me 1 Les Paul. Throw some thumbs up. Thanks, Poo Ninja. Appreciate that, mate. A Marshall JCM 800 and a Les Paul, and you will conquer the world. I tell you what, I was playing my Marshall DSL 40. What did I play last week? What guitar did I take out? Oh, my PRS SE Custom 24. Man, oh, what a tone. And the prior week, actually, I took my DSL out with the Les Paul TV Yellow with the P90s, the special. And man, whew, I don't get sick of that sound. I tell you, it's wild. With the Swamp Thing speaker. We've got David Melbourne from Michigan. Welcome, mate. And Petoskey Stones here as well. I think I said hi before, but yeah, the Hot Rod Deluxe 4 has a better speaker. Absolutely. The new A-type speakers are great. Really good speakers in those amps. The other great thing about a Hot Rod Deluxe is they have so many FSR, like those Fender Special Run amps, that you can generally find another one with like a premium speaker in it for about $100 more. So it's definitely worth doing. Jimmy says, funny you're a lefty, watching you in the videos, easier to see what your fretting hand is doing than right-handed players. I totally agree. Like, I can't watch a left-handed player for lessons. I have to watch a right-handed one, and thankfully every lesson out there is a right-hander because it's like a mirror. That's the way that I've been able to learn over this. I'm like, this should be way easier for right-handed players to learn from a lefty, but yeah, I always wondered that, so awesome stuff. Bruce, thank you, man. Greetings from ND in the US. ND. I don't know where that is. Just because I enjoy the channel. Thank you, Bruce. Cheers, mate. I'm trying to work out what that stands for. I think you've stumped me. ND. North Dakota? No, that can't be right. Is that right? I don't know. I could be wrong. I got no idea. But thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. If you're really sensitive to intonation, 3 saddles probably isn't for you. Yeah, well, that's a good way of putting it, David. Yeah, absolutely. Look, if it's driving you nuts and you can't live with it, go for the 6 saddle thing. But I'm a big fan of the 3 brass saddles generally. I think I have no plans on kind of moving away from that personally. But if it ever became a problem, I would look into it. Or take it to someone who knows how to set it up if you can't work it out yourself. They're never going to probably be as perfect as like the 6 saddle variant, but they've got mojo, man. So thanks again, Bruce. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks, ND. Hopefully I got that right. Yeah, North Dakota. Did I say that? Was I right? All right. David says, I bought myself a Reverend Jetstream 390 for my 50th birthday. Well, happy birthday, mate. That's awesome. And what better gift than a guitar? Very cool. I just realized my color is off on the camera. This is going to drive me bananas now I've noticed it. Let me fix this. Here we go. Ugh. There we go. I'll put it on standard. This isn't the one that I normally have it on, but it's far better than before. Is it just me or does the Blues Breaker pedal sound strident? I don't know. I'm not too sure what you mean by that reference. A Nitro polyurethane finishes guitars dangerous to the health. No, they're not. I mean, look, if they were wet and you were inhaling fumes, maybe, but no. Once they're, at least to my knowledge, not being a doctor, in my unprofessional opinion, you're not going to have any issues with it unless, it was heated to a point it started to fume. So no is the quick answer. And it doesn't rub off on your skin or anything either. So yeah, you'll be fine. Stu from Oz, thanks, man. Shane, is building a guitar under $250 USD and spending $150 on pickups better than buying a guitar under $300 with cheap pickups. All right, so you're asking me, is it worth spending $400 building your own guitar with good pickups or buying a... See, this is the thing, right? It depends on your skill level and what it is you're buying. If you're just buying parts, you can buy whatever you like and probably get something you like a little bit more than most $300 guitars. But if you have to do all the finish on the guitar and paint it and all that kind of stuff, knowing what I'm like with that, I would much rather buy a cheap guitar that's good, like an SX, or if you can buy a used Squier Classic Vibe or something like that. And odds are you might not even need to change the pickups in those guitars, right? But if you choose to, you can. And then you'll probably it'll be a much faster process, but it kind of defeats the purpose of building your own. So it kind of comes down to, if it's a hobby and you want to build something, go for it. But just know doing that is going to take more time and effort, especially if you're buying a kit, for example, where you need to also do the finish. See, I don't even have like a garage here or somewhere I can work on stuff like that. So yeah, for me, it wouldn't be an option. I could just do all the electronics, but yeah, that's a different process again. So yeah, go for it, man. It's a hard question to answer because you could buy a really good guitar for $400 US if you shop around. It won't need anything. You could buy like a Mexican Strat that's really good. You might even be able to buy like a G&L that's, actually they're more expensive, but yeah, so both is the answer. Ooh, the chat just flew by again here. Sorry if I've missed your questions, guys. I don't mean to. Sometimes I'm like 2 pages up and then it just goes. Whew. The Gibson Special TV Yellow with the DSL-C is just awesome. I got the same setup. That's great, Bruce. Awesome stuff, mate. I love that guitar. You know, I sort of go through these phases where I don't play something for a while, like the Flying V's being in the case. I use it for videos in here, but I don't take them out and play them live. And then I'm like, man, I forgot I had this. Let's take it out. And that yellow or TV Yellow Gibson Special, man, is they're awesome. Real special guitar for me, that one. So the lesson here is if you're a YouTuber doing guitar tutorials, flip your camera image. It's so funny, like people always say, oh, are you actually a lefty? And it's like, well, yeah, all the posters, the text is the right way. Like, I think people must think I flip it to a lefty for some reason, but I don't. Max says, hands down, what's your opinion on the best amp for blues playing right now for home use at bedroom levels? And also small gigs. Is it a Tonemaster Blues Cube Artist? You know, both of those are good, really good options. They're just different. You know, like when you buy a Tonemaster Deluxe, you're getting a really playable amp. And now that I've actually used one playing live with the guys the other week, it was awesome. Like, I didn't even have it all the way up, which I thought I would have to because I've played so many and owned a few Deluxe reverbs over the years where they're never loud enough. Once you get them to 5, that's it. But it felt plenty loud. It just depends if you want the Fender tone, you're only going to get that out of the Fender amp. But if you want a great blues tone that also has a good drive channel, man, those Blues Cube Artists are pretty good, especially, and I'm putting that in there because they can also be turned right down for home use. So I would consider those more sort of like more versatile amps than a conventional practice amplifier because they're loud enough to play live with, but you can also turn them right down. So they're more of a pro, you know, or jam amp. They're a live player's amplifier as well. But both are great. Just see which one sort of you like the best. If you don't have any pedals, maybe the Blues Cube's better. But if you do, Tonemaster. Oh, actually, they're both good. Do they make compensated saddles for Tele bridges? You know, I think they may, but I don't have any. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere before. Have you used loopers much? Do you enjoy experimenting with them, or did you just opt for other options like digital audio workstation? I've owned loopers. Like one of my first popular pedal videos, well, not my first, but no, it would have been around 2010, so it wasn't the first one. But one of my popular videos was on the Boss RC30. I got that right as it came out. I was actually overseas. And I like them for seeing if musical ideas are musical in the context of a band, because you can kind of like start to chug with the you know, chunk away for rhythm parts and then add some like fake bass if you've got an octave pedal and all that kind of thing. But I haven't used them much lately. I find like I'm pretty efficient recording to the computer. But if you just want to get ideas down, they're great because you can like layer up some chords and play over it and come up with melodies or see if there's potential in an idea for a band. And that's how I used to come up with a lot of the parts for a lot of the songs I've recorded over the years. Let me scroll down. Just have a quick sip of this. We got Doug from Suffolk, England. Welcome, mate. Oh, hello. There's this English guy I've been listening to or watching, I should say, on YouTube. He's got a great channel, and it's so addictive. It's one of those channels where you go, oh, I'll only watch one more of these. And let me see if his channel pops up. Here he is. It's called Grand Illusions. If you want to do yourself a favor and make yourself smile, go check out Grand Illusions YouTube channel. It is awesome. It's so cool. So go check it out. Yeah, it just made me think of that guy. He's like this lovely old English guy. He's got all these interesting gadgets. Definitely one of my new favorite YouTube channels. I must have binged watched 30 of his videos the last few days. Spencer says, yeah, I've stuck with the 3 saddles on my Tele, but it's super bright. I've thought about swapping the bridge for a Tusk one to darken it a bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, try your treble control on your amp. See if that fixes it. I think most of those, oh, this is way too bright, oh, these are way too dark sounding, can generally be fixed through EQ. And not through a pedal, but just through trying to set your amp differently. And if you can't, then it may be time to do something. Matthew Daniels, take it easy, man. Thank you. Janice, how you doing? She says, I'm a lefty player who plays righty and bought a lefty guitar and I can't figure it out. I think I remember you saying that, actually. Yeah, that's funny. Like, you're a lefty who plays righty. Yeah, it's hard once you invest time into it. Like, if I was to swap to play right-handed, my brain would know what I'm trying to do, but getting the hand to have the dexterity is next to impossible, because inherently my right hand has always had better fine motor skills, just in terms of being able to sort of like tap the desk, for example. It's always been faster. So for me, that always felt like the chord hand. Although, yeah, I don't know if that's the same for you or not. Like, you know, all those years of playing video games when I was a kid, you know, the fast hand was always the right hand. So yeah, playing guitar this way kind of made sense for, even though I'm not fast, but the dexterity is there in my right hand. So it'd be really hard for me to swap based on that. It would be, I reckon it'd be a good challenge, but I need to work on my normal playing first. What happens if you plug a guitar into a bass amp? It'll be fine. It'll just sound like a guitar with horrible EQ. Sorry, that's for someone else. Prince of Tone, keep or sell? Up to you, mate. I mean, look, if you don't like it, flip it. Someone will buy it very quickly off you. There's like a wait list on a lot of those. Is that that one? Prince of Tone? Can't remember, but yeah, sometimes there's a huge wait list on some of his pedals. So yeah, I don't know, man. They're questions you got to ask yourself, but I don't think you'll have any trouble flipping it. Hey, Terry, how are you, man? We've got Dave West from Canvey Island. Canvey, is that how you say it? I got an SX Tele to mod after checking out your vids. Very cool. Great guitars. Yeah, they're almost up there with the Squire Classic vibes in terms of their finish and feel, and their pickups are just as good. So they're far less. They're quite a lot less expensive in Australia too. So I'm sure, being over there, you'll probably find the same thing. The price difference will be huge. So good stuff. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Used to eat lead paint so I can handle polyurethane. I think 80s guitars like Jackson Soloist will make a comeback. Probably. Everything does. Mullets have made a comeback in Australia. All the kids have got mullets. They look like, anyway, they don't look great, but so anything's possible. Actually, you know what? I don't know what that guitar looks like. So I'm tipping though it's pointy, right? Like maybe a glam rock, or what do they call it? Hair metal kind of look. Andy says, haven't seen the drums for a while. No, I've been asked that on a few live streams. No, I only kept it over our lockdown that went most of last year. It was fun. I didn't have the space for them. Also, back there's another room back straight across there where I do my other channel, and that's set up now, and I needed the space for that. So yeah, that's where we do the Keys to the Guitar Shop, where we're talking to the camera. That's done in that other room over there. Ever play the King of Tone amps? No. Oh, Tone King amps. Sorry, no. Yeah, there it goes. King of Tone has the crazy waitlist. There you go, cool. Anyone here play a Crate Blue Voodoo? I don't know what that is. You know, I had a Crate V30 many years ago. It was a great amp, but just highly unreliable. In the end, I had it fixed like 2 or 3 times. That may explain how I got it so cheap from a used cash converter shop here. So, yeah, I think I got it like $300, and it broke down not long after that. I had it fixed. It broke down again, had it fixed, and then it was fine. So then I sold it. Hey, Drew, thank you, man. He says, just wanted to thank you for all you do for the guitar community. You inspire me to keep practicing. Hey, thanks, man. Oh, that's super cool. Thank you. Yeah, you probably found lately too, like I'm really enjoying doing those live sessions with the guys. It's inspiring, and it's what guitar playing should be in a way. Like, I can encourage anyone who hasn't played live to go to blues jams, get started, go out there and play, because if you can, of course. I know the lockdown's in place and all that kind of stuff, a lot of places, but eventually when you can, get out there and play live, and yeah, I that will inspire you to keep going too. You'll learn a lot more than you will sitting around at home, even watching videos, all that kind of stuff. So do it, because yeah, it's what's keeping me inspired to play. I'm loving that more than I'm liking anything else, when it comes to the YouTube stuff. It's this is great, but I mean, just in terms of, either if I get a chance to either play live with my friends or record a pedal video, I'm going to take the chance to go play with my mates. So yeah, get into it, Drew. Awesome stuff, man. Thank you again. So what drum plugins do I use, or are you using complete backing tracks? No, all of my... So back in the day, back before I got the drum kit, I had a subscription to an actual drummer's website called Jim Dooley. He's got a YouTube channel as well. That's how I found him. So I was subscribed to him for over 3 years on his website. So they were actual drums, then I would layer them up with bass and play my parts. After that, I got the kit, and then I was doing the drums and bass and guitar parts. And then I didn't have the drums for very long, so I ended up finding out that GarageBand has just great actual acoustic drums that you can kind of... Program's not the right word. It's literally like drag them and just modify them on the fly. It's a piece of cake. And that's how I do all of the tracks now. I much prefer it, and I don't have a big thing of drums sitting here on the floor. So it worked out really well. Yeah, I do all my own tracks from scratch. Hey, Anjay's here. Welcome, man. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Welcome, man. Blues Driver 2, both great, but Blues Driver 2 was more versatile. What? BD2 was both... I don't know what that means. BD2 or OD3. See, I would take an OD3 over the Blues Driver. That's just me. I think it sounds better. But everyone likes different stuff. The Blues Drivers are very, very popular pedals. I would take a Tube Screamer in a heartbeat over a Blues Driver. John Mayer tried to make the Dinky's hype again, but it didn't happen. Not sure if there's a more influential guitar player out there. I don't know what that is. Dinky's hype. What is that? Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a huge influence on guitar players because he's very, very musical. I'm not sure what that means, Mauricio. Sorry, man. The Wilkinson Company has a Tele bridge. That has brass. Why did I move that over there? Here we go. The Wilkinson Company has a Tele bridge that has brass saddles that you can adjust forward, back, and back maybe up and down. Plus they swivel. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know much about that at all. I know Wilkinson make a lot of good hardware. But yeah, I don't think I've seen one of their Tele bridges. We've got Ricky from Michigan. There's a few guys from Michigan in here this morning, or tonight, I should say. Welcome. Is weed legal in Australia? I don't think so. There's a lot of people that use it. I'm not one of them, but yeah, I don't think so. Unless something changed, I'm out of the loop with that sort of stuff. Hope everybody's doing well, lurking while working. Mate, that brings me back to my old work days at the office. Always listening, watching something else. Are you still using Compressor Pro 600? Is that how you... hang on. Rob, I'm not too sure, man. Oh, you're talking about the Behringer 2600 MDX. No, I don't have it anymore, mate. So, that unit... Actually, I didn't own that, I don't think, the compressor. I had a preamp that was... And then I also... Oh, no, I did have I had a 2600, which is a different model again. It was a compressor, limiter, and something like a noise gate as well, right? I did have one of those. That was actually really cool, but is that how you add other YouTubers into your stream? No. So the easy way to do all of that is just go through StreamYard, and then you can have two people on your screen. It's all done via webcams and stuff. Now, there is a way more complicated way of doing that, but that's a whole... It's just a lot of information that isn't relevant. But yeah, to do this, I'm just using the A10 Mini, which I've got on the table down here. It's just like a HDMI switcher, and then I got my camera I record with right here. Yeah, but when I've got Rick on or whoever, we're all using webcams generally, and we go through StreamYard. It sucks that YouTube used to have a Hangout service that was pretty good, but it had some security flaws. I wish they released a new one, but yeah, anyway, it is what it is. Whoa, all right, let me just scroll down here. Terry says, Blue Voodoo was a signature amp for Marty Friedman. Okay, cool, Sammy Hager. Very cool. The Jackson Dinky. Okay, cool. Man, when it comes to these kind of questions like this amp or that amp, choose the one you like the best, right? Like I've never sort of, like when you're comparing, especially two different things. So go listen to as many videos or go test out the amps as you can. Or try them, I should say, or listen to as many videos as you can, or whatever your situation is, and then find out which one you kind of like the best. Because when it comes down to it, comparing, apples and oranges is not really going to work too well. Any more keys to the guitar shop videos coming up? This is from George. Any brands in there we may not know of? Yes. So George, this Saturday, no, not this Saturday, next Saturday, I've already got the next one scheduled with Dr. Rick playing the guitar parts. I'm on bass. Richo's on the drums, and there is a brand in there that hasn't been showcased on the channel before. It's a little unfortunate that Rick went a little sideways in the track, so we didn't get to use a whole lot of it, but that happens. It was still worth putting a little bit of it in, but yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. I think from memory, there's definitely guitars you haven't seen before on the channel on that one, but in terms of unknown brands, I would say there's really only, it's beautiful by the way, but one guitar brand that hasn't been on there before. But I also have another video coming up in a few days of a brand that's never been on the channel as well that I've shot the video for here, so stay tuned for that. We're going to film another one of those at some point pretty soon, and I'm going to schedule them every other week for a while. I got an original Tube Screamer in a pawn shop here in 86. Very cool, man. Hey, Shane. Oh, sorry, that's the same one. SD1 is my favorite overdrive. Great for boosting. Marshall Dirty channel. Very underrated for blues leads. They're cool, man. They got that mid-hump thing going on too, I'm pretty sure, from memory. So, yeah, they're awesome. New York here. Jamming was at the heart of my learning to play. Very cool, man. We could jam for an hour over a few chords, learning to respond to the music, allowing it to breathe. That's the whole magic of it. That's why the 3-piece thing is so good, because you get all this space that you don't have if you've got a really bad rhythm guitar chugging away behind you that ruins it. So, yeah, jamming and having space in the music is awesome, and not being in a rush and all that kind of stuff. That's the magic. And also listening and responding and, letting things go. It's something that a lot of people never understand. I've seen guys play for 20 years that don't get it. They don't listen. They just don't respond, whether it's as simple as turning their volume control up or down. So, yeah, it sounds good, man. Very cool. If you are looking for a BD2, also consider the Noble's ODR1. I don't think I've ever tried one of those pedals. I've seen them before, but I've never tried one. I feel like I'm 10 minutes behind the comments. I'm getting there. Now, sometimes the chat, sometimes I'm on track and then I get chatting and then 2 pages show up and then it moves and then I go backwards to catch up with what I missed. So sometimes I'm not in the right spot all of the time either. Does anyone remember Dunlop Hot Licks copper picks? Is it? Oh, okay. No, I never tried those. What happened to the Laney amps? I own GH series tube head. Love them. They just fell off the face of the earth. Yeah, that title of the last video wasn't to belittle like Laney amps. I just don't see them anywhere. Anytime I do, there's only a couple of small practice amps anywhere. It's like the brand's just disappeared in Australia, but they make good stuff. Okay. Scroll down. Oh, there it goes. Did it again. It just moved and I was about to start reading a comment and it's gone. We got John from Massachusetts. Welcome, mate. Let me scroll down. Hello from Ohio. I always get that in Idaho confused. Is it better to upgrade a cost-effective guitar or shell over the big bucks for a Fender Ultra Series guitar? Look, if you've been playing a while, buy a good guitar. If you know you're not going to quit, or if it's not going to financially damage you at all, I never recommend anyone go into those, if unless there's no way around it, don't pay for music gear on a credit card. Just buy something you can afford. It's a far better option. And then if that guitar is something you won't want to sell, you'll have it for a long, long time. That's kind of how I've been working for the last few years. You probably noticed a lot of my guitars have been filtered out, and I've got my keepers, the ones that I don't plan on getting rid of. So whether it's the Fender Ultra or it's a Player Series 2 or anything in that sort of range, you're going to get a great guitar that's going to last you a long, long time. So I would say, unless you already own the other guitar and it's good and you want to upgrade it, do that. But yeah, anytime you're thinking about buying something you want, don't buy 3 guitars before you get the one you want, because you've just spent way more than you could have or should have. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Maurizio, the El Capistan or Brigadier would be the Strymon delays. Look, I don't own either of those. I know Dr. Rick's got the El Capistan. For some reason, I thought that was a software plugin for some reason. I was like, is that what that is? So, yeah, he loves that pedal. So, they're expensive. If you can afford one, you like the sound of it, go for it. But I don't own either. I never owned it or tried, or I don't even know what the Brigadier is, so. I'm based in Newcastle, New South Wales, but originally from Ireland. Any guitar retailers in Australia you'd recommend? So I borrow all of the stuff like 95% of the stuff you see on the channel from Sky Music. So they're great guys. I go down there all the time. There's plenty of good guitar shops. KC's Music is another one. I don't know a lot of them outside of Melbourne really either. So these are just ones that I know locally. I've also purchased some stuff from Better Music online, which I think they're either based in Canberra or out of Sydney somewhere. And they're really good too. Like I bought microphones from them and a whole bunch of stuff. Who else is there? Yeah, I mean, look, check out my Guitar Search Saturday series. Most of the first 20 or 25 were shot in Melbourne. So you'll get a good sense of how many guitar shops we have here, or had. Some of them have been closed down, but a lot of them are still in business. So, yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Matt says, did I ever try a Gaskell guitar down there? No, I haven't. I've never seen one, actually. Picked up 2 nice Fender combos for $265. Wow, Blues Deluxe and Blues DeVille, put new tubes in them, and I love them, the tones, but they are loud. Yeah, they are super loud. You know, I was so close to buying a Blues DeVille right before the lockdown. Right before I got that drum kit, actually. I played it in the shop. I've had one of my friends was with me, and it was so good. It was awesome, and I couldn't sleep. I was like, damn, I want to buy this amp. I went back the next day with Rick, because he wanted to hear it as well. And we watched the guy pay for it and take it out of the shop. I was like, oh man. I said, can you get me another one? And they go, no, it was a one-off. So I contacted Fender Australia. I said, are there any of these anywhere? They're like, no, that was basically the last one. So congrats, that's fantastic. Is the stack of pedals lined up like that on purpose? Yeah, it is. I had them right here from last week, and I didn't want it to look exactly the same, because I haven't really shot any videos in here since the last live stream, I don't think. A lot of what you've seen are videos I've shot a while back, so it was exactly the same. I thought, oh, I better move some stuff around, so good catch. Have I ever stopped playing for more than a month? Did it take you some time to shake the rust off? I have. 6 weeks was the longest I went without playing guitar. And it was brutal getting back into it. And that was a trip I had overseas one year. I didn't take a guitar with me. I didn't get a chance to play a guitar for 6 weeks. And then it probably took me... Look, it just depends how much time... I was traveling at the time, right? So it was kind of different to just not playing. I'll go a week without playing now. And it doesn't affect me that much. But any more than that, and it really starts to... If I only play, say, once a week... I'm not going to improve, and I'll incrementally get a little worse. So usually if I know I've got to film something the next day, or if we're doing the keys to the guitar shop thing, I'll generally practice beforehand, or just jam, put some tracks on and play, because it drastically changes the way I play. Like some of the playing on that last guitar shop video was some of the best I had in probably the last few months in terms of fluidity, because I'd put in the time beforehand. So, yeah, it's funny. You just keep your hands on the guitar if you can. It'll affect people in different ways. It's also the calluses. Like right now, my calluses are almost gone. I'm not playing enough to maintain them. So, yeah, it is what it is. We got John from Massachusetts. Did I already say hi to you? Sorry, mate. G'day. Oh, yeah, I did. All right, so you got it. Chat went back up. There we go. What are we up to here? 58 minutes. Very cool. We're almost on track. I have a JCM 900 Mark III 2100, I guess, maybe a 2100 head that I love, and a JCM 2000. People hate on the TSL, but it sounds good in my opinion. Well, that's all that matters, man. Don't worry about what anyone else says about gear. Who cares? If it sounds good and you enjoy it, that's it. I stopped caring what people think a long time ago with what I use. I couldn't care less. So maybe because, when you put yourself out there, people are critical of everything. But yeah, I couldn't care less if friends preferred one amp over another, but I like one over another or whatever. I couldn't care less. So it's don't worry about it. Play what you enjoy. Andy Brown says, hi from Tassie. My Fender Ultra Strat arrived today. They're awesome. Have you tried one yet? No, I haven't actually tried a Lefty Ultra, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I've seen one, but that's awesome, man. Very cool. Congrats. Roberto says, I bought a Friedman Pink Taco. Amazing amp. Man, where do they come up with these names? That's hilarious. I hear the Friedman stuff's really good. I think I've only really heard or played through one, and that was Dr. Rick's. He had one for a little while. Well, it sounded good if you like, you know, your typical kind of rock tones. I've been searching for my dream head, and it's a VHT Pitbull or the, is it Fry-It? Is that how you say it? I'm not too sure, but they are not cheap. Keep an eye on the used market. You know, I think as people, you know, I think people bought a lot of stuff when the lockdown thing happened in a lot of places around the world. There's going to be a lot of music gear going up for sale. So unless everybody's sticking to it, but we'll see how we go. Have you done video on biasing when you're changing tubes? No, I don't do like tech videos like that, man. They're not really, I'm not a tech. I leave that to people who are like pro electronic engineers. The last thing you want to do is give someone bad advice. So usually most of the amps I've got don't require biasing. If it does, I generally take it somewhere to get done. A couple of my friends know how to do that as well with some of the amps I own. So most of the EL84 ones, you don't need to bias it on the most part. And some are self-biasing amps as well that are out there. But yeah, any of that kind of thing, I'm not doing videos on it because I'm not a pro. Hey, George, thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks, mate. Thanks for all that you do. Well, thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you. Ricky says, Shane, I love your Flying V. I was looking at one, but I would have to go play it in person. Yeah, absolutely. I recommend people do that all the time if they can, unless there's no choice or chance to do so. Yeah, it's another guitar that theoretically doesn't make sense for what I like in terms of its neck shape and stuff, but man, it's great. It's such a great guitar. And thanks again, George. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Lefty Harley Benton T40. Check it out, Shane. You know, I had an opportunity to get some more of their guitars. I'm not sure if, you know, there's like an oversaturation of Harley Benton videos or not. So I sort of said no. But I haven't actually replied yet. But yeah, it is what it is. Have I got a PV Bandit I'd like to sell? I don't. I don't have any PV Bandits, unfortunately. Yeah, I sold mine a while back. I don't collect gear to collect gear. Like, there's a lot of guys that do that, and that's fine, but that's not me. I prefer efficiency. So anytime I get more than a few amps and I'm not using one of them, or I get too many guitars or too many of the same thing turn up at the house, they all get sold. And that's not to say that I won't buy another Red Stripe PV Bandit, but I've had 3 of them because I'm an idiot. But yeah, as of right now, I've got 3 amps left. Blues Deluxe, the Artist Tweed Tone 20R, which is over there, and the Marshall, which is near my front door, because that goes in the car every weekend at the moment. I love it. I bought and sold so much gear. Yeah, me too. Yeah, like lots. I know a lot of people would assume like most of the stuff I get for nothing. A lot of the stuff I have to give back, but you know, when it comes to pedals, I get sent a lot of them, obviously, but a lot of the stuff prior to like 2013, I was buying and selling like a lot of stuff, amps, pedals, everything. So guitars, I was trying everything because there was a lot of shops back then that had a lot of great used gear. I could go in and buy a great pedal for like 40 or 50 bucks sometimes, and they didn't know what they had. And then I could do a video, keep it if I chose to keep it, or sell it and then go back and get something else. And I did that for a long, long time. It's great. What sets the Gretsch Electro Jet apart from a typical Les Paul? Well, you know what? The one that I played recently had that tremolo arm, which was pretty sweet, but it's just a tonal thing. That's all it is. The pickups in there just are different to humbuckers. So that'll either appeal to you or not. With that aside, there isn't really any difference. They're very similar guitars. I actually edited out some of the talking from that last Keys to the Guitar Shop video because it was getting quite long, but I actually said, yeah, it reminded me of a great Les Paul. It sort of like did, but the tones were different, right? So, yeah, great guitars. I'm a big fan of the Gretsch stuff. I've never owned one, but I could see myself getting one at some point in time. Boris says, howdy, Shane. It's not Sean, but thanks. Glad to get Donna straight. Well, it's funny, you know, I think what happened was after weeks of trying to hassle them to stop uploading and re-uploading my content, look, I took, I think, 8 of their videos down without striking their channel, and then they got also, I don't know if it's down, I haven't checked, but I got an email from them saying, could you take off the copyright claims? I was like, no, I wasted weeks chasing you, and it only became a problem when it became a problem for you, so have a great day. So I was glad they apologized, but it seems like they don't get, yeah, we'll see if they get it or not. Well, I appreciate them finally reaching out to me. I got messages everywhere, email, I got them through Twitter, which I don't use much, and everywhere, right? So I appreciated that, but because I wasted weeks chasing this, and if you saw my feed, you'll know that, it's like, man, like I was doing the right thing by not giving them strikes, but obviously other people whose videos they uploaded also claimed them. So, yeah, see you later. Well, that's my impression of it. It may still be up. It's hard to find their channel. You can't just search for it. It's sort of, you got to search for a product and then it will come up. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a couple of weeks and then see. I think the Tele Fusion would be a much better proposition than any other TE models, including that weird-looking TE40. Yeah, TE40. Which one's that one? Harley Benton TE40. I lose track of all the... Oh, yeah, some of the... Is that the sort of like... Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, that does look a bit weird. It's not really... You know, I got a thing. I don't really like painted headstocks. I reckon they make guitars look really cheap. I don't mind high gloss ones, but black painted headstocks look weird to me. And I even felt that way about the Squier. What were they called? They had the Contemporary series guitars. I wasn't a huge fan of painted headstocks. It kind of works on some guitars, but yeah, that one looks weird. Have you ever tried the Way Huge Camel Toe? I have one. It's very cool stacked overdrive. I have tried one before, never owned one. A friend of mine bought a demonstration board from MXR and Dunlop when a shop was shutting down. He's got one of them on that. It's. Oh no, I have actually. I borrowed that pedal board. I'm pretty sure that's on my channel. If you type in Pedal Star Galactica, it should come up. But yeah, cool pedals. They make good stuff. All right, I'll go just for a couple more minutes here, and then I'm gonna hit the sack. I just realized Jimmy says, I feel different about their products now that have been taking your content. I think what happened with this, at least from what I can understand from the email, they employed people to take care of their online stuff, who obviously there was a huge lack of communication going on, and it took them weeks for them to reply to my email. They only replied once it became a problem for them. So it's like, yeah, look, I appreciate the apology, but you know, get your stuff sorted out, basically. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I feel like their email was actually really good. I get it. They're like, oh, we believe in musical creativity. We don't, you know, go after, we don't do, it wasn't done intentionally and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. So that was cool of them. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Hey, Ross, welcome, mate. I don't like painted headstocks either. Yeah, it just, something about it just doesn't look right. Who's uploading people's videos? So Donna were taking any video that they found on YouTube and by other people, right? And re-uploading them to their channel. Or re-editing those videos with their logo and branding and just cutting out a section of it. And it's like, man, you didn't even ask. Like, a lot of companies will ask me, hey, do you mind if I use a minute of this on Instagram? Or I'll offer a lot of the time, but there's always an email. And I always usually say, yes, that's fine. But I say, don't re-upload it to YouTube without asking me. That's always in my conditions of anything. Anytime Donna have sent stuff out to the channel, I said, don't re-upload my content. That's my only terms. Don't re-upload it to YouTube. If you need a clip, go for it, but don't re-upload it. So yeah, it's like that's if any company's watching this, you've obviously seen that. In my emails originally, like, this is my terms. But anyway, because then why am I uploading? I'm making a video for them where then I should charge for my time. It's a completely different situation. I may have to start doing that at some point anyway, because with at least the pedal videos, because no one seems to really watch them anymore. I enjoy doing them, but it's a lot of work for not a lot. Hey, Buzz, thank you, mate. He says, hey, it's a rare thing to be able to catch a live stream anymore. But yeah, I haven't seen you for a while, man. I hope you're doing well. My schedule has changed. I'm with you on the painted headstocks. Thanks, Buzz. Thank you, mate. Thanks for all the support over the, I guess, last couple of years, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it still looks cold where you are with that avatar photo, mate. You're gonna have to get that sorted out. Where are you living? That's hilarious. No, thanks again, mate. I do appreciate it. Cheers. Yeah, it seems like most people don't like the painted headstocks. Gibson's headstocks look painted. Yeah, but they also look good. Like some of them, that high gloss, like that fingernail kind of paint, you know, I broke this fingernail a while back and it went black, shiny black. That kind of color just doesn't look good on a lot of... See, I even think there's a lot of brands that just... Yeah, the Squire... I guess it's more like sometimes I'll do a really high gloss paint with like a sparkle through it or something. That to me gets pretty cheesy looking, but it's all personal choice, right? Who knows? Who cares? Ricky, thank you, mate. He says, I dig your pedal videos. Cheers. Yeah, it's just, I think that's what helped build the channel up on some part, as well as the podcast back in the day. But the podcast on YouTube, like 7 years ago or whatever it was. But yeah, I only test pedals I'm interested in, but I put a lot of work into them, and yeah, it's like, man, it's a shame that, yeah, it's not what people want to watch, and I understand that. So I still do them from time to time, but I don't do more than 1 or 2 a month, because it's just like people generally aren't that interested in it. I get it. It's not that exciting when there's a million different ones out there. Plus, how many Helix and Kemper owners skip pedal reviews? Well, that could be another thing as well. Yeah, absolutely. Ross says, yeah, of course I'm going to say the Gibson headstocks look great. Yeah, me too. I got a few of them as well, mate. Don't worry about that. Look at my collection of guitars. All have black headstocks except one. All right, so this, I guess the easiest way to describe this, I got, it's in the, hang on. Where is it? I don't know where it is. I've got a... That's weird. I better find that other guitar. I got one guitar that's sparkle red, and it's got a sparkle red headstock. I kind of wish it didn't. It would look probably better in like a natural finish, or maybe just one color. Ross says, your pedal reviews are great. You've done many reviews I've only watched recently based on researching to buy something new like the Jackman 2. Oh, they're super cool. Very cool. So look at it as an archive. That's pretty much what I tried to do. I tried to build an archive or a catalog of videos. There's probably 150 pedal videos or more. I can't really remember. There's a lot of them from back in the day. There's probably far less good pedal videos on my channel than there were ones in the early days which weren't that great, because back then I didn't have a lot of the editing suites that we've got available now, and the camera equipment and the audio, isolated audio and all that. So yeah, I'm glad they're useful, and that was the whole idea. That's the thing with YouTube. If you want to be able to sort of be found, you've just got to pump out the stuff and try to keep it at some sort of quality. I don't release anything, and I haven't for a long time now, where I'm not happy with it. Like if a video is kind of like, it's all right, I delete it and I do it again. That's that's the way that I work. So there's been times I've completely got a project in editing finished, I watch it back, and I hate it. My vibe sucks, or I'm playing crap, or I'm like, delete, done, try it again tomorrow, and then I get it done in like half an hour the next day. But yeah, back then I used to just hit record. There's guys that do that now. They'll hit record, leave all the mistakes in there, and they'll leave all the unnecessary talking, and someone rings the doorbell, they'll leave all that in as well. I don't like that. I like very concise videos. I won't watch a video like that. It's just not for me. Hey, Dr. Rick's here. Welcome, mate. He had his COVID-19 vaccine on Monday. If I buy a new guitar, I'll blame it on the vaccine side effect. But I know the guitar that you need. Well, I hinted at it earlier. I'm going to see it come up live on the next one of our videos. Also, I got the go-ahead for recording as well. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. I'll shoot you a text. I mean, or later. Most painted headstocks on Fenders look good. Okay, cool. I can't think of too many off the top of my head. Most of them have the lacquer or the clear coat thing, which I like. It's all just a visual thing. It makes no difference. It's just opinions. I bought 2 pairs of earbuds from eBay. One was $4.99. The other pair was $2.49. They arrived in 2 weeks. $4 pair lasted 3 days. The $2 beat that. Okay, cool. Hey, VS Audio. Welcome, mate. From time to time, it's okay to show pedal reviews. On my point of view, there are channels that are dedicated to reviews and demos. Yeah, absolutely. I still like doing them, but I'm very particular now with what I choose. And a lot of the stuff is Greek stuff because it's the best. Where is it? Oh, it's out in the other room. I still haven't... I got a few cool things on the way. There's a couple of... Yeah, there'll be... I guess not this month now. Next month there'll be 2 Greek pedals, and then following month 2 Greek pedals. And there's a New Zealand one as well coming up. But it's stuff that actually kind of interests me now. Like, I don't want to just review everything. I was at a point where I tried doing that, and it wasn't as enjoyable as just picking and choosing it. I much prefer just going, okay, so this looks different and interesting. What does it do? Am I still liking the American original Strat? Boom. Mate, absolutely. This thing rocks. This is the best Strat I've ever owned. It's not even close. No, I love this thing. I have to compete with JSS for pedal videos. It's not really about competing with him. It's just like, I get a lot of views from my back catalogue of videos that I've had for years and years and years. So I don't even watch. I'd be lucky to watch 3 guitar videos every 2 weeks now. I just don't watch them. I couldn't care less what other guitar channels make in terms of content. That just doesn't bother me. Sometimes I'll watch something to reference something. Like, I'm like, oh, how does this thing work with that? And I'll look, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I kind of can get a rough gist on it. But I don't watch many guitar videos because I'm usually always making them. And I've made like 3,000 of them. So, yeah. JHS make great videos. He's got obviously some sort of production team there too. I don't. I'm a one-man dude. Oh, except for when Rick helps with being in the videos. Whoever was asking about modeling versus tube, my ears modeling has a very subtle and quick chirp on the transient, whereas modelers don't react to picking dynamics or guitar volume control the same. Yeah, on the most part, that sounds about right. There are some exceptions to that, though. I always felt like the old Mustang amps did a great job at kind of replicating the feel, but a lot of them still haven't quite got them right, except for the Tonemaster amps. They're pretty close. Burner's World says, love the Guitar Search Saturday episodes. Can't wait till they resume. So I've got one in editing right now, so they'll be coming back. I've got to get some other stuff done to get this next lot of videos. Like I want to change some parts about them. I'll just leave it like that. So I need to do a few things to get that to happen, but it's already in editing. So I've confirmed a few others for in May as well. So I'm going to go up to Sydney for a few days and check out all the shops up there. Yeah, but whoever was asking about this before, sorry, this thing's killer. If it wasn't, I wouldn't keep it. It's that easy. Bendel Schnitz, is it? Says I'm too tempted to get one. Well, I like this. It's got a soft V-neck, so it's a little bit different to everything that I've had in the past. Some people find this kind of neck a little too sticky, but I don't know. I felt like that when I first took it out of the case. It was a bit sticky, but after playing it a bit, it's fine. I always use finger ease on the strings anyway when I play or record or whatever, so I don't really notice it. I'm gonna pay off my Sweetwater card, American Original 50 Strat. Well, mate, I tell you, you're gonna love it. There's nothing to dislike about this. The neck pickup on this is the best one I've had. It's like every position is usable. I love the fact that I don't have to keep taking off the tremolo arm. It kind of gets placed backwards like this in the case, and you can close the case. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this thing. It's super cool, and I just love the visual of it as well. It's by far the best looking left-handed Strat I've ever seen. There is that custom shop Lefty 50s one that I put side by side with this one that had the gold hardware. That was really beautiful too, but for a production model one, this is easily the best one I've had. Nathan says, you do a great job for a one-man operation, so as someone who's done one-man video production, major kudos to you. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty busy with other stuff outside of the channel as well. I don't have a day job, but I'm also working on other projects and other channels and stuff. So I do what I can with the time that I have. And if I had, someone helping me do live switching, it may save some time too. But I get fussy enough that I actually don't mind the editing process. It gives me a chance to kind of play around with some stuff. It's just the big projects where that can be a bit of a problem. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm always trying to meet my own standards with my videos, and they get most of the way there. Do I block your Strat trims? I used to years ago. But not anymore. So I have it to a point now where I have to, I put the screws in far enough inside the back of the trem that I have to actually push down to make it work. I don't want it to activate when I'm just bending strings. Otherwise it's a mess. So no, not anymore. I don't. I used to lock all my Strats down. Excuse me. Soft V 7.25 Fender necks are the best Fender necks. Cool. 7 1/4, yeah. Dan says, hey Shane, love your channel. First time being able to catch you live. Love hearing you rip on the Marshall MG30 and the Power Trio. Man, that amp's great. Thanks, mate. I wish I could turn it up past 5 at home. So there you go. Someone who owns that amp is saying, it is how loud is it, man? I can't believe it. It's shockingly great as a pedal platform amp. That clean channel I almost want to put a behind the scenes video together of what goes on between the playing, because after we played that, I was like, Rick said something like, oh, we're using any pedals, or was that the clean tone or something? And I said, yeah, have a listen to this. So I turned all the pedals off and clicked them on one by one, and it just went. So those amps are super cool. That's a great amp. Good stuff. Desert Doug here, welcome, mate. Or Dessert, sorry. Boris the Bullet Dodger. I love that name. That's awesome. Oh, the chat just moved. I think it's supposed to say Oh, I'm not too sure, actually. Ah, the chat. There it goes. Mark says, I realized recently I can't get on with strats because of middle pickups as it gets in the way when picking. Do you find it... Oh, hang on. Do I find a change to picking style between Strat, Tele, and Les Paul? Not at all, man. I just play. I don't even think about it. Whether I'm playing on a Telecaster or not, pretty much right over that middle pickup. Let me have a look. I don't know if I actually adjust and I don't realize or what. No, it's just in front of the middle pickup, kind of, like about here. Even if I'm playing fingerstyle. Occasionally you might bump into one of the pole pieces, but no, I don't really notice it. But yeah, I'm tipping if you got a different kind of picking technique or something, maybe then it might become an issue. Or if you, I don't know. Yeah, I've never thought about that actually. Have I tried titanium saddles for the Strat? No, I haven't. Never. You're a perfectionist. You have to do everything yourself. Yeah, look, I just like... Because the editing process and the style of my videos, whether it's good or bad, it's unique to itself. And to hand that off to someone else, it would be a different edit. And I know it's just a big learning curve as well. That's the other thing. Like, it's just not something you can say, hey, come over and help me with editing. It's not one of those kind of things because there's a million different things that go on. And the process is so... I've refined it so much over the years that it's actually as time efficient as it's going to get without having someone else manually switch cameras. But then if you don't get someone who's musical like that, or say man a switcher or whatever, then the shots will be random. You know, you want to have someone in who knows what they're doing. So yeah, it is what it is. I still enjoy it. I just, yeah, it's just a time-consuming thing. Fat Philosopher, take it easy, mate. I'm going to get out of here as well in 3 minutes. All right, an hour and a half. Is speaker relicking aging a real thing? That's an interesting question. I think over time speakers probably change sometimes, but not all the time. What I've found is like speakers like Jensen or some of the Celestion speakers can sound nicer over time, but speakers like Eminence don't really change. I don't know what it is, or not much, nothing perceivable. Even if you play them for, you know, hours and hours and weeks, the equivalent of weeks and weeks and weeks, they don't really change their tone. The amp is always consistent. The reason why I feel that way with certain speakers is because I never have to adjust the EQ on the amp or whatever when I play live. I just set it up the same way and it works. And if the speaker was drastically changing, like what they would call speaker break-in, then odds are I'd probably have to start adding a little bit more treble or a little bit more this or that. And I don't really find that to be the case. But you know, most people seem to notice it most with Jensen speakers, especially in Fender amps, because they can sound really bright and then all of a sudden they cannot be as bright. But it is what it is. Do I think much of the Gibson Nighthawk? You know, I've never played one before, mate. Let me just see what I think they're the sort of weird looking things, right? Yeah, they got the slanted pickup thing. Yeah, I've never played one. They look a little strange to my eye, but not too bad. Something different is always good. I want to get one of those little Marshall amps after hearing it. They're really good. I'm not actually thinking about buying one as well. How much have you spent playing guitar? 2 hours daily. Man, I wish I had 2 hours to put in the guitar. I'd be far better than I am now, but no. Sad reality of it is I don't practice anywhere near that amount. I'd be lucky to play 2 hours a week. But there were times where I was playing like lots and lots and lots and lots, and that's that phase you go through where you want to get good and you play every day, and you sort of learn how to master licks and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it just depends where you're at. Just play as much as you can. It really does help. I'm also, when I'm filming a lot, I don't practice much because part of that is kind of like a practice thing, and I'm playing on time with, like a backing track and all that kind of thing too. So bought a solo guitar's left-handed Strat copy late December and built it. The truss rod keeps needing adjustment. That sucks, man. That might be fixable. Not too sure. Someone wrote you may have to break in a greenback. Yeah, that's the Celestian thing. A lot of people seem to think that. Yeah. I don't know. Speaker break-in is kind of, if you're cranking your amp up, maybe then you'll probably notice it more. If you're playing at home, and I'm not to belittle that, but if you're playing at far less volume, the speaker won't be moving as much. So I don't know. It's kind of like, I'd like to see some actual tangible like experiments with this that can be verified and tested and documented, because I really feel like a lot of the speakers I've put in amps don't sound any different after I've thrashed them for 3 years. So whereas other times, like I said before, I think it's maybe more inherent of certain brands of speakers. I think the speaker break-in is mainly a term to make/let you ignore the fact you don't like the sound of an expensive speaker. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it as well. I actually wrote an article about this. If you type in "is speaker break-in a myth," you'll see it come up. It's a loaded. There's guys that have worked for speaker companies that vouch that certain brands of speakers completely change sound after like 1,000 hours of use. But there's nothing to really back that up, right? Like, there's no control condition tests. You're basing this on people's ears, which could completely change after 10,000 hours of flanging a guitar amplifier really loud, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. Hey, we got Hippie Gamer Chick here. Welcome. How you doing? See you Saturday, which will be good. Is the Spark amp any good? I've never tried one, mate. Sorry, I'm not too sure. Active pickups are a bit of a hassle. Route for the battery and extra wiring. Yeah, I've seen those batteries go flat at gigs and jam nights as well. A lot of the time people are like, I gotta go get a 9-volt battery, so I have to run across to the supermarket or something. I have an Epiphone DOT 335 copy. I'm thinking of swapping some pickups. What should I try? Man, depends on your budget. There's plenty of good pickups out there. See if you can get actually, I don't know where you're from either, because that'll be a different situation. Falling asleep, but I got notified you were live, so I thought I'd come say hi. Thank you. Cheers. Hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. I'm about to sign off too, by the way, so it's 12:30. Said that half an hour ago too. Do I like the Mustang Micro? I haven't tried one. Fender offered to send one out for a video, and I said no, and they said, oh, we'll send you one anyway. And I still haven't given the guy my address yet, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it's probably fine if you just want to practice, right? It's just I haven't tried one. Still using the DSL, I am. Greetings from Germany. Welcome, Alex. Maybe my playing has changed and not the speaker. Well, that's it. Yeah, there's a lot of other variables too. Like as amplifiers get thrashed, you know, the valves may start to dwindle slightly too, and that could change your tone slightly. So there's just too many variables in it to say that speakers completely change their tone after 10,000 hours. It just came up with that number. You know, the 10,000 hour rule is generally if you put 10,000 hours into anything, you master it, right? So, yeah. Hey, the camera is thumbs up. Thanks. Cheers. I got a surprise for you too. So you may be able to get similar quality to this. I'll have a chat to you about it. When's the next live stream? Probably in the next 10 days or so. I'll see how we go. I don't really schedule them up ahead of time. Just usually about 15 minutes before I go live. Yeah, Nathan says, wondering if anyone's played trainer guitar amps. I've had 2 of them. I'll take this as the last question here. Yeah, so I had a YC-V40, which was the black one with the 12-inch speaker. Basically like a Hot Rod Deluxe clone. It was great. It had one of the most musical drive channels of any amplifiers. You did lose a little bit of low end, but the tone was so good that it didn't really matter. And then I bought one of their YCB 30, no, what was it, 50? A YCB 50, which was their 50-watt version of the same amp. Had a vintage 30, and it had EL 34s like a Marshall. It was okay, but it wasn't quite as good as the other one. I nearly bought a 2x12 Trainer a little while back, but it rattled something shocking. And this was used, but the guy had it for a pretty good deal, and I thought I'll go check it out. And I plugged into it. First note, the whole cabinet rattled and buzzed, and I went, I can't live with that. And it was way heavy too, but you know, made in Canada, good, solid amplifiers. Did I review Supro King amps? No, I haven't, no. I'm taking 5 to 10 hours. You can hear the high end roll off a greenback. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, can you hear it roll off? Or, I mean, where's the benchmark for hearing the difference? It could just be the EQ set differently on the amp, or who knows, right? So, there's a good video about a YouTuber, a guy who made Jensen speakers, and he explained all the nuances, how speaker works, even he talked about breaking in. Yeah, so I think that's the Jensen guy, right? Yeah, I've seen that. It's a really good video too, but yeah, there's just nothing to really say other than anecdotal that it completely changes. And there's much like Tonewoods, right? you got to sort of have some evidence on it. Oh, thank you, hippie gamer chick. Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't have to do that. What are you doing? I'll have to buy you a Pepsi Max next time I see you. Thank you. Cheers. All right, everybody. Oh, man. Peter Gregg's here as well. This is the GH5S. And between you and me and our little information secret thing, I still way prefer it. So, yeah. The other one's good, but this is still better. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you, Hippie Gamer Chick, again for the super chat. Thank you, everyone else who contributed comments, questions, super chats, everything else. I do appreciate your support. If you want to drop a thumbs up on the way out, if you haven't, that'd be awesome. And I'll catch you on the next one. So, yeah, I'm going to try and get Rick on a live stream coming up. I had a chat about doing one that whenever we both can do it at a decent time of the day. So, yeah. All right. Hey, I'll tell you what, Peter, I'll send you a text, mate. I got some info for you. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you so much for hanging out. And if I missed your question, it's because either I didn't see it or the chat scrolls, and that sucks. I don't intentionally miss anybody's questions or comments here. So rock on, everybody. And I will catch you soon. I got 2 videos coming up a week. That's seems like a healthy amount. That's enough for me. All right, everybody, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. How do I turn this off? Oh, yeah, it's over here. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you.